Hello? Your Health is Calling, where holistic health meets practical solutions for your well-being. With your host, speaker, New York Times bestselling author, Sue Kostyk, a seasoned holistic health practitioner and longevity coach. Join Sue each week to embark on a journey to uncover the root causes of your health concerns. Through a personalized approach, learn how to decode the messages your body is sending and craft natural protocols to address them. Call in live at 888-994-4995 Studio A.
Well, Happy New Year and welcome to Hello, Your Health is Calling. I'm Sue Kostyk. I am an integrative health practitioner, and I started doing this podcast because I just wanted to bring information out that is actually usable. There's so much stuff out on the internet, on social media. There's lots of people that are influencers, but maybe don't have the background and the certifications needed to give really good advice. But integrative health is it's a practice of digging deep and finding the root cause of why you have symptoms that you have, and functional lab work versus conventional lab work. We dig super deep. We find underlying root cause of what's going on and how to actually, fix it versus putting a band-aid on it. So we eliminate symptoms by eliminating what is actually causing those symptoms. And since it is the new year, I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday season. But the new year is always the time where we start reflecting, we start thinking about, the next 365 days of the calendar. And there's always an opportunity to, maybe fix some things that didn't work out last year, or start some new things that you want to include in your life this year. But what I wanted to make this show about was how our brain actually works when we make these decisions to start resolutions. So, what is a resolution? It's a commitment. A resolution says that we want to either add something or we want to change something. And the definition is literally a firm decision to do something or not to do something. And it's also a quality, I like the second definition, it's a quality of being determined. So when we start thinking about the new year, and of course, resolutions are what everybody's talking about. Some people call them intentions, but resolutions are a commitment. An intention means that you're just intending on doing something, may or may not happen. But resolutions, what's the list? We run the gamut, right? We have everything from our health to finances, exercise, relationships, personal justice. Are we going to be kinder to ourselves this year? Do you want to be more organized and declutter? And do you want to pick up a new book? Do you want to read a book every month? Do you want to travel more? Are you going to eat better? Are you going to find a new hobby? Some people want to quit smoking or drink less alcohol. And some people just want more time with family. The list goes on and on. I actually Googled it, and it's quite large. I could only fit 12 on the slide. So, one of the things that I really like to do on the first day of the new year is make a list of everything that I would consider making a resolution about. And it can be as long or as short as you want it to be, but this list is not what you should use moving forward. It's just kind of a brain dump. And so today's show is literally going to be about the brain. I'm sorry if you thought it was going to be something else, but it's going to be how our brain actually responds when we try to make these changes or add something. So your brain actually hates change. It's your brain is meant to protect you. It perceives change as actually perceived pain. So, when we start thinking about resolutions and making changes, your brain has to respond to that. And the minute a new idea comes into your brain, it's automatically doing that over under. It's automatically calculating the level of pain that it perceives will come from that change. So your brain, it really it prefers routine. It prefers all the habits that you have created over the years. Anytime that you do something over and over again, that's obviously creating a habit. So the brain is going to prefer habits. They're easier to execute. It keeps you nice and comfortable. When you start thinking about changing something, that triggers a fear response in your brain. Because again, remember, your brain is trying to protect you. And when it feels safe and comfortable, it's going to perceive that a change is, you're going to fear loss. So let's take, the habit of eating better, okay? Because I'm holistic. So we're going to choose that one. So your brain is going to automatically start calculating the fear of the loss of a food you may need to give up. Instead of evaluating the gain, like you can think of so many great things that are going to happen if you eliminate a certain food from your diet, but your brain is thinking about loss. So, it makes the cost seem really great. And, your brain needs emotional security. So if you're thinking of making too many changes, then that emotional security goes away. And, making changes, your habits have to be reinforced over time. It's not like you're going to wake up on January 1st, 2nd, or 3rd and say, I'm changing, and your brain's automatically going to click. So when I talked about journaling and making a list, that's actually doing a brain dump is really healthy for your brain. So sometimes when your brain gets too cluttered, it's really good to just do a brain dump. If you are a planner and you like to plan your weeks, like let's say on Sunday you like to sit down and plan your next week, doing a brain dump just gives you, that clarity, and it empties space actually so that you can, think freely and move forward. So, dumping all of your resolutions onto a page or two is a really good thing. But one of the number one problems that we have when we do set resolutions is that we're trying to change too much. We get overwhelmed, there's no quick wins, we go back to old patterns. So trying to change too much, honestly, if you are trying to change your life overall, like you've got, your finances you want to work on, your health you want to work on, your relationships you want to work on, all those things, when you master one of those, everything else falls into place because your brain picks up that change is okay. So, trying to change too much, again, we don't want that overwhelm. Overwhelm causes you to freeze. It's like, you walk into all of these suggestions and you just can't pick one of them. And it does make you go back to old patterns because when you are in overwhelm, your brain senses pain. And I'm not talking about like ouch pain. It just senses, that anxiety within you. So it's going to go back to the old patterns because those old patterns you're comfy in. So pick three. Pick three things. And then just, be good at one of them at a time. And then, like I said, once you start mastering a new habit, your brain is going to sense that it's okay. So what's the second problem? We try to focus on things that we can't control. So when you focus on things that you can't control, let's pick another one. Let's pick finances, because finances are like a controllable or non-controllable. Your finances is you have what you have. So if you focus on what you have and the benefits of what you have and not what you don't have, it's easier to move forward into a new habit. So let me clarify a little bit. Finances, you want to pay off bills, but you only have a set amount of income, right? So instead of saying, I am going to pay off X amount of debt this year, focus on what you do have. Focus on, okay, you get up in the morning, you drive to Starbucks and you spend $5 on a coffee. And I know this example is given so many times, but it actually makes a lot of sense. And so if over a week you don't do that, that gives you, you know, that amount of money, $35 in your pocket to put towards a bill. And again, I'm not telling you to go without coffee. I'm actually just saying maybe make it at home. You know, it's a lot cheaper to make your coffee at home and put it in a travel mug and take it to work. But that requires, you know, it does require a little bit of discipline, and it requires you to plan ahead. So, you know, if you focus on what you do have, okay, you do have X amount of dollars, you know that there's some places that you can probably not spend, so then you can send it to a bill. So instead of just saying, I'm going to, you know, do that overarching bill payoff, just set what you have. And, you know, and that when you start to focus on the benefits, then your brain senses no pain. And this is the thing that I'm just really trying to hone in on today, is how your brain reacts to change. And, you know, focusing on the things that you can't control. Okay, so you don't have the finances for a gym membership, but you have a body and you have legs and you can go for a walk. Or you can do a plank. You can do body strength exercises. So again, focus on what you can control, not the things that you don't have. So the problem number 3 is that we get into this all or nothing thinking. And this really, really sets you up for failure. And, you know, I want to kind of stick here for a little while, because if you've been watching for a little while, I did in the very beginning when I started my podcasts, I started with the de-stress protocol. And the de-stress protocol is an acronym. And one of them is a success mindset. And part of that success mindset is not an all or nothing thinking. It's doing what you can do, progress over perfection. If you slip up, just get right back on. You know, so many people, they throw out the baby with the bathwater. Okay, I'm aging myself, but anyway, you know, the all or nothing is a dangerous mindset to have, because the minute you perceive failure, then your brain perceives pain. And so you're going to fall back into old things. When I talked about the de-stress protocol, you can actually go to YouTube, the Reinvented Life Network, Hello, Your Health is Calling. You can watch all of those. There were many. And that is one of the first things that I do put my clients through, is just walking through this de-stress protocol. And it's nothing that you have to purchase. It's just setting yourself up for success when you do start to make these changes. So you can also email me at support@helloyourhealthiscalling.com, and I can, you know, we can set up a free appointment. We can talk about things. Okay, so when we're going to move on to a little bit more sciencey stuff about the brain and how you can actually be successful in your resolutions. And there's something called neuroplasticity. And your brain is very viable. your mind is like it's the strongest thing. It was created to be super strong and to overcome so much. And so our brain is neuroplastic. So it will rewire itself. It will either rewire itself to the negative or to the positive. It's your choice. And practicing some things that are going to rewire your brain. If you've struggled with resolutions, um, there is a little statistic that 80% of the people who make resolutions, they fail in, the first 3 weeks because they're not approaching them right. And you can rewire your brain. I know, so many people, they talk about SMART goals. There's courses you can take on SMART goals. And I oftentimes myself will say, that's overused. But the SMART goal is something that is super helpful when you're trying to make a change. And, it goes hand in hand with not falling into overwhelm and, not, um, giving your brain that perception that it's in pain. And so, when you think about the SMART goal, I want you guys to just stick with me for a bit because I know it's overused, but really being specific, be super clear about what you want to achieve this year. And again, make it achievable. Don't say, don't make it this big, huge goal that is, talk about an elephant in the room, and make it measurable. Make it so that it can be quantifiable, that you can measure it. And each one of your resolutions or each one of your goals, there is a measurement to it. It doesn't matter which one it is. And make your goal achievable. If you set this high and lofty goal for yourself, then failure is going to set in. You're going to feel bad about yourself. Anxiety is going to set in and your brain's going to go, too much pain. I'm going back to my old habits. Every single goal, every single thing that you want to change or add to your life, your brain, remember, it's doing the over-under on how painful it's going to be for you. And not painful in the sense of ouch, but painful in a sense of, is it going to cause me anxiety? Is it going to cause me overwhelm? Is it going to put me out of my comfort zone? Remember, your brain likes comfort. Even if you're in a super bad habit, if it's been over the course of years, your body has become comfortable with it. So it doesn't matter if it's a good or bad thing. Make your goal relevant. Why are you doing this? Every single goal that you make, it really needs to have a why. If you don't have a why, then there's no reason to do it, honestly. And if your why is for someone else, then there's no reason to do it. Because every single goal should be about yourself. And I know that there's some goals and, people want to get healthy so they can spend time with their grandkids and, people want to get healthy so that they can, do things with other people. But the ultimate feeling of that goal is really for yourself. I have grandchildren. I love going to the park and playing with them and they love it too. But so being healthy and remaining flexible to go to the park with my grandchildren, it's not for them. It's for me because I love them and I want to spend time with them. So when you start really boiling down into these goals, what is the relevance? Why are you doing this? And make it time bound. Make sure that there is a deadline for your goal because anything open-ended is not going to happen. So you can, and I'm not saying make these like for the end of the year. Start to think about the short term. Start to think about deadlines that are achievable and goals that are achievable. So instead of saying, I'm going to get healthy, say, I'm going to walk for 20 minutes 3 times a week by February. that goal, there's a deadline, and it's not every day, and it's not for an hour. You're covering, it's very clear, it's very measurable, and there's a deadline. So there's not a relevance in this statement, but in your mind there's a relevance. So if you want to lose weight, instead of saying I'll lose 10 pounds, say I'll plan 5 balanced meals a week, work out 3 times a week, and track my progress. That is a goal that you can actually accomplish. And it's not saying I'm going to plan 3 meals a day for 7 days a week. It's not saying I'm going to work out 7 days a week. And it's not saying anything about being super, super cognizant about tracking your progress. It's just, find something, if you have a health tracker or a journal or something like that. But again, it's like, let's make them achievable. Let's make them something that you can actually come out of feeling really good. So another thing about our brain is it likes dopamine. It's like a superfood. It loves dopamine. It loves to feel good. So again, remember when I said if you feel too much anxiety or pressure or overwhelm, your brain's not getting that dopamine fix. And dopamine is a hormone that's released when you feel good. And your brain loves it. So the more dopamine it feels, the more successful you are going to be at continuing pursuing your goals. So when you achieve small milestones, that dopamine is triggered and it's released. When you celebrate every single win, not just the big ones. I went to the gym today. Yay! I ate 5 servings of vegetables today. Yay! Just the small wins. When it gets to the big ones, if losing weight is your goal and, by the end of 2 months you've lost, 6 pounds, yay, big win. So, sticking to your goal for 2 months, big win. Just think about where you can find those wins. And, if you slip up, avoid punishing that, because then your brain feels the pain and it doesn't get that dopamine fix. So, oh my gosh, yesterday, personal story, I ate terrible. It was Mexican food. It was chips and dip. I know you guys are like, oh, no. But you don't beat yourself up for something like that. Avoid punishing yourself when you slip up. Just refocus. Today I'm eating clean. I knew yesterday was going to kind of be a disaster, and today I am refocused. One of the greatest things about what I do is I lead functional medicine detoxes, and they're 21 days, and it's a time to recharge and refocus. And we can't get away from toxicity. And again, go back to all my podcasts and I talk about toxicity, and it's unavoidable, it's around us. But this tool that I provide for my clients is a refocus, because slip ups are not avoidable. And it's going to happen. So instead of like punishing yourself and falling back into the old habits, just refocus. And this functional medicine detox, I know I'm going on like this weird segue, I apologize, but there's one coming up. So it's forefront in my mind. And January is a great time to do this. It's 21 days. It's time to refocus your body, get it ready to forge ahead in the new year. And that's a great dopamine hit for your brain too, because it just feels so good after it. So another thing that's helpful, and I'm going to go back to my slides now. Sorry for the little thing. But accountability is another way that it just can help you keep on track. And let me tell you, accountability, it does strengthen your neural pathways. I know it sounds kind of strange and sciencey, but when you have accountability, when you share your goals, when you're speaking, when you're writing it out, and you're visually monitoring your progress and you're reflecting on wins, that is adjusting your neurons and the neuroplasticity of your brain. So it's helping you to rewire. You never want to do anything alone. And there's so many communities that you can join. I mean, Facebook has a billion of them at least. And I have a community, you know, accountability, it just helps keep you strong in your goals. And, it is scientific. It's like when you reflect on your wins and then just have an accountability partner, a group, a community that can help you adjust for those challenges. You're going to come up with challenges. And, there's setbacks. If you're working on your finances, your car is going to break down. Murphy's Law is alive and well, I guarantee it. So when you start to think about things and you have a community that can be helpful and encouraging, that is that is just such an important thing for you. Your why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to make a change? Why do you want to add something into your life? If you feel like you don't want to do a resolution, don't. Honestly, there's a lot of people that don't do New Year's resolutions. I didn't for years, because I felt like, I'm okay. I don't need to learn anything new. I don't need to do this. I just wanted to like go through life and, just manage. But when you come to a point where you want to make a change or you want to add something, connecting to a deeper purpose, it really improves your success. So if you really think about your why on any one of those things that you have brain dumped down on paper, that just helps anchor you. When your motivation fades, it's like people who don't succeed, like those 80%, it's not that they don't have the motivation. It's not that they don't have the willpower. It's because they haven't made those steps that we've talked about this half hour about changing and making your brain change and rewiring your brain, because your brain has everything to do with your success. And, your why doesn't have to be deep. It really doesn't. It could be very simple. As long as it anchors you when you feel that you are fading in the willpower or the motivation. So, be the 20%. You know, being the 20%, there's a few things you can do. Do the small steps, make them achievable. Don't try to bite off more than you can chew. If you're really honest with yourself, you know what you can accomplish. You really do. And I think that, when you get to a certain age, if there's some young people watching this, you don't think too much about habits and, how your culture and your upbringing has affected your habits and the way that you set goals and the way that you actually operate. But if you start being mindful about the habits that you do have and, the things that you'd like to change, you'd like to add into your life, being mindful and understanding yourself is really a huge accomplishment. And you can also brain dump that too. That's a really easy thing to do in a journal. And make sure you're celebrating. Just trying to do something different is a huge celebration in and of itself. So many of us just want to stay in that comfort zone. It's really easy to. And just remember, progress over perfection. Nobody is perfect. There is only one perfect person, and he created us all. So let's just remember that we want to just be in progress. If you take one step backwards, just refocus. You can either refocus right away or tomorrow's another day. The sun will come up tomorrow. And make sure that you are not setting goals that require perfection. Make sure you're setting goals that you can progress through. And support. Support is super important. Find a support group. If you don't have anyone around you that you feel will support you through your goals, then find a community. There, like I said, there are so many different communities on social media that you can join when you're trying to focus on something new. We've covered a lot. This time goes by so fast. And I just want to reiterate that your health is not a hobby. If you need anything, you can find me at Sue at symmetryhealthandwellness.com, support at helloyourhealthiscalling.com. My website, symmetryhealthandwellness.com, has a calendar where you can actually go in and book a free consultation with me. And again, you can find all of these podcasts on YouTube at the Reinvented Life Network and Hello, Your Health is Calling. So Happy New Year. I hope this was helpful. And I will be back next week with some more wonderful things that you can do naturally for your health. So if you do find your health is calling, please answer it. It's calling for a reason. Thanks for joining.
Thank you for tuning in to another empowering episode of Hello, Your Health is Calling with Sue Kostyk. Remember, your health journey is ongoing, and we're here to support you every step of the way. If you have any questions, insights, or stories to share, don't hesitate to reach out. You can connect with us on social media or call in live at 888-994-4995 Studio A. Together, we're transforming lives and embracing holistic well-being. Until next time, prioritize your health and remember, your health is calling.